Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Heidi's Lane. I have a special guest today. Well, truth be told, there was actually an episode up this morning. It's Monday. There was an episode up at midnight today, 12:01. And before I went to bed, I was like, oh my gosh, no, I don't have, it's kind of an episode that has a bombshell in it, Cash. And so I had my team delete it after a few hours. So a couple people may have downloaded it. It has a bombshell in it. And it was something where I was like, I don't know if I can deal with that this week because this is a really big week for our family. So I'm recording something Monday. This is going out, I think tomorrow, Tuesday, as soon as the team can edit it, or at least put it together. But this is a really big week for our family, isn't it? Oh, I have Cash here, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Cash
How are
is
you
here.
guys?
So Cash, why is this a big week for our family?
So my brother is leaving on a mission to New Jersey for 2 years, and it's sad. Like, I've been used to seeing him every week for I don't know, my entire life. And it's going to be really sad not seeing him for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary.
Yeah, I know it is going to be hard, huh?
Yeah.
I sent an email, Cash, and by the way, Cash had asked if he could do this podcast with me. He knew I was going to be recording a podcast before Matix leaves. And I think one of the reasons, Cash, you wanted to do this with me is because you and Matix are the closest, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You actually, last night you told me Matix is your what?
He's like my best friend.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are super tight. But like I wrote an email, Cash, this week to my friends online. And one of the things I said, I'm going to shut my phone so I'm not. One of the things I said is like, this is a week of the lasts. Like so many lasts, you know, like,
yeah.
Like I'm going to try not to shoot.
I can.
You can what?
I can talk.
No, it's okay.
Like, do you mean like the last meals?
Yes.
Together?
Gosh, this is
the
why
last
it's so good that you're doing this. You get it.
The last movies?
Yes.
Well, it's gonna be tough, but I mean, he's gonna come back after.
He's gonna come back, you know. But it's like there are so many lasts. Like the last. I haven't been super emotional over the last couple of weeks because I've been so busy getting him ready. You've seen like from his mission papers that we started putting in like January, February to his mission call and having everyone come over and then packing and like doing all the paperwork after.
Yes.
It's been a full-time job for me. And me like Matix and I going shopping, you see his room looks like a bomb went off because it's just
Seriously.
a bunch of bags and suitcases and all of that. So and then like yesterday was awesome. It was the Matix's farewell where he gave a talk.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He did so good.
And then we came home, we met with family and friends.
There were a lot of people here last night.
Yeah, and we just threw a giant party.
We did. One of my favorite videos of the night that I'll have to post was, oh my gosh, Cash, I should show it to you. Let me show it to you. Hold on. It includes you. This is why I have to show you this video. And you didn't even know I was taking it. I'm going to have to post this. Oh, it's right here. Oh, is this it? Yes. Okay, look. Everyone.
Oh, no, I think I've seen this.
Everyone, there's literally a house full of people, you guys. Full. Tons of teens. And then I pan around the room and there's Cash playing VR, his Oculus, in the middle of everyone.
Let me add some detail to that really quick. Let me give a backstory.
Give context. What is the context?
So basically, one of Matix's friends asked if she could play my VR headset.
Yeah.
So I went to go get it out, and I let them play for a minute, and then I let them watch. And
because they can watch on a phone.
Yeah. Okay. I can like stream my phone to it, and then like I just let them watch, and then I would play, and then I gave it back to them, and they just all played it, and it was the funniest thing ever. It was so fun.
It was funny. There was always someone playing the Oculus. So there's a house full of adults and family friends in like one room. So like in the family room, kitchen, it was just loaded with people and pizza, like older people and pizza. And then in that front room, it was like, I felt like high school was there. All of Matix's friends. And there was at least one person at all times on the Oculus, you know?
Yeah.
It was actually really, really funny. In fact, some of my favorite memories from this last week were you and Matix late at night playing the Oculus. And I'd come in and just, you guys were laughing and having...
I know. That's...
but anyway, what I was in my email, I mentioned like, there's so many laughs. And while there are laughs, and I think it's really cool to focus on the last because it makes you cherish every moment, you know, like because I was aware that it was the last, it was like, oh my gosh, I better make the most of this moment because I'm never going to get this back again in this way, right? Like he's going to come back, but he's going to be an adult. Marley's going to be gone, you know, so life is just different.
He might move out, you know?
He might not move in home. Yeah, we might not live here. We don't even know. But like it's not good to get so far sucked into the last because then it can be depressing. But the cool thing about last, besides the fact that it makes you appreciate the moment more, is that the end of something or the last of something means that there's a first of another thing. You know?
Yeah.
And so there are so like the excitement of the first, this excitement and the joy and like the curiosity of the first. It's like things that I've had to like list in my head and be like, okay, what are the first that I'm excited for? This is the first time I've had a son and you've had an older brother become an adult and leave the house, right? Like it's the first time this house is going to have 3 of you.
I know. But like, look at the bright side, like Matix, he's gonna grow up a lot. He's not gonna be relying on people to get stuff for him. Like, I don't have to go put the underwear in the dirty laundry anymore. That's a plus.
Yeah, and that's a first. So that's a first for you. It's the first time Matix isn't going to be asking you to do his dirty work for him. Is
Seriously.
What I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And you know what else is going to be cool? Like, have you ever heard, Cash, when you lose one of your 5 senses? The other
ones are heightened.
Yes. So I think about our family, and when we lose, or you know, temporarily, one of our senses or our really important parts of the family, what do you think happens with
All
the rest
the other
of us?
ones are like heightened.
Well, yes. Like Matix is the funny one right now. He's so funny, you know? And it's like, there's a part of me that's like, is our house going to be boring without him here? Because he brings so much loudness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it's like, I know with him gone, it's going to give, like, space is created. Right? Even though like we love him there, we want him in that space, but because it's time for him to go and spread his wings and hopefully learn all the things that me and Derek and your dad, Chris, have taught him over the years, like there's going to be space. So naturally, it's like in science too, right? Like you open up, like it's, what is it called? Osmosis, right?
Yeah,
like all of we're going to grow into that space and we're going to fill it. And it's going to give you guys an opportunity to express more. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
But let's we could also look at the pluses. Like, it's going to cost a quarter less money for you to take care of us. I get to move into a new room.
Yes,
I don't have to share a room with Ruby
That's what I was going to say. What are you excited about? Okay,
like,
gosh,
I'm
this is
so
it.
happy for that. I get my own room. But like,
Are you going to take the things down on Matix's wall? 'Cause
no, I'm keeping those up.
right now, you guys, Cash and Ruby share a room. And really, though, you kind of have your own room because Ruby sleeps in my bed every night. She basically,
which is amazing. But I'm happy because we have this bunk bed, but it's like so close to the fan. It's scary.
It is true.
And like, I have to have the fan on every night to sleep well. So
You just can't sit up in the middle of the night.
yeah,
we don't want your head chopped off.
I can't get water. I can't use the bathroom. If I am going to, I have to roll out of like the bed. I have to like roll to the side and then get up. I can't just get up from where I am. And it's like, it's weird, but like, I'm so happy that I'm finally going to be able to move. But my room, it is comfortable, and it's going to be sad, not sharing a room with Ruby anymore.
But she's right down the hall.
Seriously.
You're going to be, okay, wait.
And I'm going to be sleeping a lot better.
You're going to be sleeping better. That room does get a little bit hot, so we're going to have to figure that out. Because I know you don't like when it's hot.
Yeah, I don't think the ventilation works
Tell
very
me
well.
what it's going to be like. We're going to talk about Matix's mission in a minute, you guys. And real quick, everyone listening, I have questions too about Matix's mission and about religion that I'm going to have Cash help me answer. But I want to ask you this question. What is it going to be like, Cash, being the next door neighbor of Marley?
I actually don't know if I want to move into the room anymore.
Now that you... Here's what I think. So Cash and Mars, maybe,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but of all the siblings, you're maybe not at this point in your life, you're not the closest right now, right? Like you go through different phases. I think Matix leaving, you and Mars are going to bond. I'm telling you. You are more similar than you know, you and Marley.
But I think most of the time that we don't really get along, it's when she's on her period. I don't know why, but there's a week. 1 week where we don't get along.
Is that really what it is?
Yes, it's 1 week.
Do you have it
but then
mapped
the
out?
next week, we're so friendly with each other. We just love each other. Like, we're best friends. So, me and Matix are best friends. Me and Marley are occasionally best friends. We are most of the time.
Half the time. Like three-quarters of the time you're best friends. Yeah.
And me and Ruby, it's kind of complicated.
You and Ruby, listen.
I'm kidding.
You guys are together 100% of the time. Because you guys go half the time at my house, right? Where you have Matix and Mars. And then you both split off and Matix and Marley go to their dads. And you and Rubes go to yours. So like Matix and Mars are together all the time. You guys are together.
And I'm together with her all the time.
And so naturally, you're going to fight twice as much as you do with any of the other kids, right? But I see you two. Like Ruby will lay in bed next to you and just cuddle up to you. And I hear the way you guys encourage each other. Like truly, Ruby will be like, you got this, bro. It's so cute. You know it. You know it's cute.
Yeah, I know it.
She's so cute. And I've seen you just put your arm around her and like snuggle up to her.
She's like a lot more scared now, I feel like.
You feel like she's a lot more scared since Matix is leaving?
Yeah, she just seems like anxious, I think she's scared. So I think like she's been super scared since she got the news that he's going to be leaving.
Yeah. Well, I think change is hard. And that's kind of what it... And, Ruby and Matix are so tight. They are so close to each other. Oh, yeah. Like... Matix has become maybe the sibling who is, I would say, closest to each of you guys individually. And maybe it's the product of him knowing that he's going to be leaving, Yeah. And so I really feel like he's worked hard to build his relationship with you, to build his relationship with Ruby, and to build his relationship with Marley, and even me and Dad and Chris, like your dad. Like Matix has done such a good job, especially over the last year since he made the choice to go on a mission. To build a relationship. It's like he knew the end was coming of this time and okay, I'm going to leave making sure I'm proud of who I am.
Yeah.
And he should be proud of who he is. I think he's done a really great job. But yeah, so maybe Rubes and her anxiousness, a lot of it might be that she's bummed that Matix is leaving. Like the shift. There are, again, a lot of shifts. And I mean... Yeah, we won't get into all the Ruby stuff, but Ruby's just so sweet. And I think she's so empathetic. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's like... Hold on.
You got this. You can take a guess.
It's like, it's like feeling empathy. That's like not understanding emotions, right?
It's like...
'Cause sympathy is like, aw,
Yeah, so empathy is being able to empathize and feel... what someone else's emotions are. So Rubes, she's always been the one that comes up and will be like, Mom, are you okay? Or Dad, are you okay? Or Dad's stressed or Mom's stressed or Matix is stressed. And she's trying to she holds other people's emotions and she can feel their emotions. And sometimes that can just make you, a little bit anxious and worried and fearful and, that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to Matix's mission. Okay?
Okay.
Matix gave such an awesome talk.
He did.
It was so good. And the thing that I loved the most about his talk was that do you remember it? What are you looking at?
There's a wasp.
Oh, outside of the window?
Yes.
It's out of the window. We're good. But
he's massive.
Whatever. One of the things that stood out to me the most about Matix's talk, and I'm going to share this with everyone. It was awesome, you guys, because Matix, just to tell a little story, most of his life, he didn't. Actually, before I go into this, Cash, can you tell them what kind of a mission he's going on, and can you talk a little bit about it, what you know of it, and how long he's gone, and what the rules are, all that.
Yeah. So basically, he just kind of goes door to door and tries to bring, Jesus into people's life.
Yeah.
And
he serves them.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even door to door. It's just going and helping with humanitarian stuff or whatever.
Yeah. And all religions are amazing. I love all religions, but this is just what Matix believes in.
Yeah.
And I fully support him. But yeah, he just goes door to door, trying to bring Jesus into other people's lives and help people through, and have him help people through tough times.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. He does that Tuesday to Sunday, and on Mondays it's kind of a break day.
P Day, I think is what they call it. Yep.
And he calls his family. This is the only day that he gets to call us, because they're a little strict there, but yeah, that's the only day they get to call us. And then, all the other days he serves and he helps people. Yeah. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love that. So, and what's cool, so Matix is going to New Jersey. What makes it a little bit different is he's doing a Spanish-speaking mission. So on Thursday this week, I don't even know if I said this at the beginning of this, but on Thursday this week, I'm actually flying him to Mexico. So everyone's going to, Cash, you're going to spend the night on Wednesday, right? We're going to go to the airport together. You guys are going to see him off. Matix and I are going to fly there, and then I'm going to fly back. And that's going to be, I'm sure it'll all hit me then. On the flight back, I'm probably going to be a freaking mess. I know it kind of hit you last night.
Yeah.
But so it is cool because he's going to the Mexico City MTC, or Missionary Training Center, where he's going to be fully immersed in the Spanish language, and he's going to be learning. He already learned how to pray in Spanish, which is so cool. He did it the other night in our house. It was so neat. But yeah, then he's just going to go share, and he's going to go bring the light in his life to other people. And there's actually a question I'm going to read in just a sec from one of the listeners that they asked. But in 2 years, there's not supposed to be any family visits. I don't know if I'm going to stick to that, but I'm sometimes a rule breaker, in case you don't know. But who knows? What if I'm in Morristown, New Jersey?
Seriously,
what if I just see
who knows? Anything can happen,
It is very true, but I'm really excited. And I've had a ton of people that are like, gosh, are you just so sad? And yes, I'm sad. Like I just mentioned, I'm sure on Thursday, I'm going to be crying on the way home. You are probably going to have a hard time in the airport, right? When he walks away. But another first, something that's so cool about this that has me being like, how can I be sad when for the next 2 years, and I'm telling all of you listeners this too, and if you have a child who's going on a mission or is on a mission and you're sad and you're having a hard time right now, I want you to hear this, because this is such a gift, what I'm about to say. I'm imagining, I don't know, the gift isn't here yet, but life with kids at home is so chaotic, and it's always asking for things, and you're just, it's a very thankless job to be a parent. And it's if it's not one kid that needs something, it's another, and it's amazing. I wouldn't want anything else on the planet, but sometimes it feels a little overwhelming and it feels heavy, right?
Yes.
Especially because I handle it all on my own. And I had the realization last week that yes, I don't get to see Matix physically, Cash, but do you realize for the next 2 years, every single Monday, my oldest son is going to FaceTime me and us, He's going to call me and he's going to tell me what's happening in his life. He's going to explain his victories. He's going to probably talk about his challenges. He's going to have real conversation with me that I've never got calls about before, right? Because like when they're at home, it's like any parent listening knows it's like they'll call you when they need something. But I'm going to get to have 104, because there's 52 weeks in a year. I have 2 years of this.
Oh, it's like I think it's 110 actually.
Well, I'm going to have 100 plus.
Seriously.
I'm going to have over 100 calls from my 19, 20, 21-year-old boy where he's just calling to talk and he's not asking for anything. I mean, maybe he will. Maybe he'll be like, can you Amazon me this? But how cool is that? Like, I am so excited for the relationship shift in he and I in a way where he can just call and talk, And like, I hope that this like, what a cool thing what a cool habit or pattern to create that hopefully sticks for when he's home, maybe for the rest of our lives. It's like every Monday we have a call where we catch up. Like, I just think this is such a cool thing. And instead of him going off to college and getting all wrapped up and, not ever calling mom, because that's like, buddy, listen, that's one of my fears. I love you guys so much. I always want you to be close to me,
Yeah.
So I think this is a really cool thing. So moms listening, if you're sad, hopefully that gives you some solace and some excitement that like your boy or your girl is going to actually call you and talk to you instead of ask you for stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I want to ask you a question, Cash, because you kind of touched on this. Someone had said, I'm going to have you help me answer this. I'm going to answer this, but you can chime in on any part. Can I ask if you are Christian? Then she said, Matix is on a mission. That's a Mormon faith. Who is Mormon, and does religion vary per house or per child? And they said, very interesting. And is this an issue for the kids and dads? Religion and faith is huge in how you raise children these days. Aren't those so many great questions?
Yeah, those are amazing. So personally, myself, I don't want to. I don't know if I should really say anything about what I personally believe in, but
you don't need to. You definitely don't need to.
Okay.
I can answer this question. Do you want me to answer it and you can chime in if it feels right?
Sure.
So here's what I'm going to answer it in an order. They say, because listen, Cash, you never owe anyone an answer on anything. If anything ever makes you feel uncomfortable ever, whether you're talking to someone in person or on here, you don't have to say anything,
Mm-hmm.
And religion's kind of a tough, tricky thing,
Yeah.
And I think you are entitled to your own beliefs, and I think this is part of the answer. So here's what I'm going to say. This person says, can I ask if you are Christian? So I can tell you I am Christian. And I can tell you Matix is Christian. I'm not going to speak for any of the other kids, but obviously Matix is, because he's going out to promote Jesus,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Matix is on a mission, they say, that is Mormon faith. So I'm going to debunk a myth right here, right now. I was raised Mormon. Mormons are Christian, period. End of story. You guys can argue it all you want, but what is Christian? Christian is someone who believes in Christ. So anyone who says Mormons are not Christian just don't really understand what a Mormon believes. But a Mormon actually believes in Christ. Yes, they have the Book of Mormon, which is an extra additional book, but the Mormons also use the New Testament and the Old Testament, and they fully believe in all of the things that most Christians believe in. There's kind of a layer with Mormonism, right?
Let me.
Yeah, you can say anything, dude. I love hearing your thoughts on all of this.
I think I am Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I am Mormon though.
Okay.
Because Mormon is like branches, or like there's like branches off of Christianity, right?
Yeah.
And Mormon's one of them.
Yep. Good way of putting it. By the way.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I think that's perfect.
Because I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, and here's what's cool though. Like, because the next question. So I'm going to go through these questions and we'll talk about it. Then they said, who is Mormon, and does religion vary per different household and per child? Okay. So clearly Matix is Mormon. Marley is also Mormon. I was raised Mormon. So those two kids were raised in a household. Their dad is Mormon as well. My parents, my brothers, we all were raised Mormon.
Yes.
Yep. And so are all Mormon. Does it vary per household? Because then they go on to say, hold on, let me read this again. This person goes on to say, very interesting. Is this an issue with the kids' dads? Religion and faith is huge. So, yes, beliefs do. I'm just going to talk about my household. Cash, you can attest, or you can chime in and you can argue any of it. You don't even have to back me. I believe that I have a household where every one of my children feel, I could cry talking about this because it's so important to me, but every one of my children feel like they can believe what they want to believe and that they are enough and perfect in their beliefs. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah.
If one of my children wants to adopt a certain set of beliefs and attend a Mormon church, I will go with them. In fact, the entire family will go with them, and we do go with them, right? We will participate in different things. If another one of my kids wants to practice or try out a Christian church, we're going to do it. And I will go with them. I actually go to a Christian church every single Sunday at 8:30 a.m. I love it. It's my favorite place to go and to be because I feel like it is just a place where everybody belongs. That does not mean that I don't appreciate and love and still go to a Mormon church and support my son. Like, this is one of the best things Matix could do for himself. It's the best thing he could do these people in New Jersey are so insanely lucky that they get him. Right?
Yeah.
And I am so insanely lucky that my son is choosing to dedicate the next 2 years of his life to God and to serve people and to abiding by rules and growing up with training wheels is kind of how I look at it. And the example he's setting for his siblings, not to say, Cash, you need to go on a Mormon mission, or Ruby, you need to go on a Mormon mission, or Marley. No, there's absolutely no judgment by Matix. None. There's no judgment by any of us. But the example he's setting by saying, I'm going to sacrifice for other people. I'm going to sacrifice, and I'm going, not only that, but I'm going to grow and I'm going to improve myself. I'm going to better myself and I'm going to draw closer to God as I know it. That to me is amazing. And I am so lucky that both dads believe the same way I do in that, right? Now, dads do have different beliefs. Chris, though, is Cash and Ruby's dad.
He fully supports everything.
It is because you and Rubes go to a Mormon church, right?
Uh-huh.
We go as a family.
Yeah.
And I go to a couple, and I think some people think you have to pick one church. I don't believe in that, and people can not like that if they're listening to it, and that's okay. I believe I can go to any church that I want to.
Yeah, you can if you want to test out a religion, why not? Test it out,
And I don't think, Cash, tell me what you think about this. I do not think you need to be in a church to talk to God.
I don't think so. I don't want to get controversial, but
well, yeah, you don't have to reply to that.
Me myself, just myself, I don't believe so.
Yeah, I agree. There was a really cool quote that said something like, be wholly present, WHOLLY, be whole, be wholly present when standing in holy places. And I love that. And I think the intention of it for the person that shared it was when you're in church, be completely there. But I love that quote. And my thought to it was, what's cool is a holy place can be a church. It can be a breathwork session. It can be my home. It can be this car, Cash, with you and I as we're having a conversation or a bonding moment. It can be me out in nature, right? You get to determine what is holy for you. And I want my kids to have the freedom to determine that. And I want my kids all to know, you guys, and Cash, I'll tell you this too, that no matter what you believe or what you don't believe, I am a full supporter of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And then the other and I agree that that person had said, faith in how you raise your children is, I think at the end of the day, we can all follow the example of Jesus, right? Like if we are kind to people, if we don't judge, if we are wholly accepting, it doesn't matter what religion you call it. Like if you're just a good person and you're nice, that's what I subscribe to. And that's what I believe in.
Yeah, yeah.
You agree? Yeah?
Totally.
Okay. So I think I want to end, and Cash, you can chime in on any of this, but I'm kind of just talking to everyone listening here. But again, you're always invited to chime in, okay?
Okay.
I want to end by talking a little bit. So Matix had his farewell yesterday. I'm about to drop him off on Thursday. Sorry, that's a side note, but I'll be back with an update. And yeah, but at his farewell, one of the things I loved the most was how he kind of told his story of what, because a lot of people say, what is a mission? Catch answered that. And then what made Matix decide to serve a mission? Matix never, as a kid, I never thought he was going to go on a mission. And he would say, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. And he mentioned in his talk yesterday that, a few years ago, 3 years ago, he kind of found himself in a place in life where he didn't love where he was, right? Like he said, I didn't have maybe friends that I felt like we weren't going in the direction that I wanted the rest of my life to go, is kind of how he said it. And it was really awesome. And I've mentioned before that there were some challenges and some struggles. Like raising teens, you guys, is so hard. It's so hard. And I don't know what it was in Matix's life. I couldn't even tell you the moment. And he said in his talk, I don't remember what the moment was. But there was a moment in Matix's life. It was like a fork in the road. Like if he went left, it was going to take him down a path that was painful and treacherous and, painful for parents too. And he could have gone right, which was like, okay, I got to change literally everything in my life. And that's really, really hard to do when you are a teen. Sorry.
It's okay.
And there's peer pressure and, and as a parent, it's like that which you resist persists, right? Like I heard a quote once that says, people resist what they hear and they believe what they say. So like if a parent saying, hey, Matix, child, teen, you shouldn't be doing this. Don't do this. Don't do this. They resist it. But then if you can get them, or they can get themselves to say it themselves, they'll believe it, right? So I knew as a parent, the more I pushed, the more he would push back. And I can only explain it that like it's a grace of God thing. But Matix made the choice to go right. So he could have gone left and, it would have been easier. It would have felt better. It would have been more comfortable, and it would have been really painful.
But he went right,
Yeah, but he chose right. Like he literally did all the work himself. I didn't do any of it. I can't take responsibility. His dad can't take responsibility. It is all a Matix thing, which is what makes this so awesome for me and for him. It's what makes me so proud. I heard from my friend Tyler, who's been on this podcast, the quote, like, hey, I'm proud of you if you are proud of you. And I am so proud of Matix because he is so proud of himself, But yeah, like a year and a few months ago, he came home from, a bishop interview where he was going to baptize Cash and Ruby. And he came home from the interview because we had the missionaries at our house and they'd become a part of our home and they were so nice. And he came home and I had kind of said to Matix, because we didn't know what was after. We didn't know what he was going to be doing. We didn't know if he was going to be, going to college, not going to college, moving out, living at home. We had no clue. And so to have him come home from a bishop's interview where he could baptize Cash and Ruby and say, hey, Mom, I have some news for you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I think I'm going to go on a mission. And you know, for no other reason than I wanted my son to make good choices after he leaves the house, like to make a choice to help the path that he is on. I wanted to cry, and it took every ounce of my control to not shed a tear, because I know like if I was to get too excited about it, Matix would resist maybe, or push back. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Whatever you want to do. Like, I literally played it so cool. But you know, in his talk, he talked a little bit about all of this and how he had that moment of clarity, and he's so proud of who he is. And then he read this quote that I love. And I'm going to read this quote here and I want to read this quote because I want people to know it is never too late, right? To shift or to live a good life or whatever. So his quote said, and it was from a talk, but this guy, it was Joaquin E. Costa of the 70, Elder Joaquin E. Costa. I probably said his name wrong. At times, he says, having faith in Jesus Christ may seem like something impossible, almost unattainable. We may think that coming unto Christ requires a strength, power, and perfection we don't have, and we just can't find the energy to do it all. But, he says, what I have learned from all these people is that faith in Jesus Christ is what gives us the energy to begin the journey. And then this is my favorite part. He says, sometimes we may think, quote, I need to fix my life before I can come to Jesus, end quote. But the truth is that we come to Jesus to fix our lives through him. We don't come to Jesus because we are perfect. We come to him because we are flawed, and in him we can be perfected. Ugh! I love that because and when I read or heard him say that, I thought, how many times in my life did I think I'm not worthy? I'm not perfect enough. I'm not good enough to do XYZ. Sometimes it's to go to church, or I'm not worthy to be in this group of friends, or I've made mistakes, so I don't deserve this man, or whatever it is, fill in the blank. But the idea that we are not meant to have a perfect life to be worthy, right? We are worthy to come to Christ, and then through him, we can become perfected. So we don't need to be perfect to step in a church building. We don't need to be perfect to serve or to be a part of a church group or whatever it is. We don't need to be perfect to pray, you know, and prayer has changed my life without going too far into it. All we need to be is willing to come unto him, willing to be like Christ, to be kind, to be non-judgmental, to be accepting, right? Reminds me of that quote that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called, right? I love it. Okay, so there's my soapbox for today. Thursday's going to come fast, Cash.
I know.
Do you have any final words before you go in and take some Advil? I know your jaw's hurting from your orthodontist appointment.
I don't think I do.
No?
No.
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for talking about this with me.
Thank you for having me here.
You were awesome. It was a perfect guest. All right, guys. I love you guys. Thanks for just being here every single week. And do not forget to tune in. There's going to be a really awesome podcast. Well, I might do one after Matix leaves. You know, we don't know. Yeah. But also I have a really great one coming up. It's about dating in my 40s. You don't want to miss it. All right. Love you guys.
All right. Thank you.